Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Yeah, just a little one on Andrew Tate. That's Andrew Tate, that's Tristan, that's their sister, that's their father, that's their mother, okay? Uh, Jake family. Um, well, they're Jake's anyway, and their daughter, so is the sister. Obviously, the father, seed line, Numbers 118. He's been arrested. What they say is human trafficking and forming an organized crime group. Okay, right? And obviously, the gun laws in Romania are slightly different compared to the rest of Europe. And one of his reasons for leaving the UK, I mean, obviously he was from the States. His father's from the States. Grew up in Chicago. The rest of his family's from the South, Mississippi, and all that. And then he grew up in the equivalent of the projects in the UK with his mother, his Irish mother. Possibly she could be Jake also. Here's a picture over here. She looks kind of swarthy. She tans. She doesn't go red and pink. She goes quite, just goes brown. And then he's a kickboxer. Jake is known for excellence. He's a kickboxer. He's very well spoken, very strategic. He's got a chess thinking mind. The way his father moves. His father was a martial artist also, and also worked for the CIA. He's made his money with the webcam business, and all these women know what they're doing, and it's not, it's online, right? So these women can't be touched. And he's quite outspoken as well, where he talks about how to be a man and all that kind of thing. A man should be a man, and women should be women, and pretty much what the scriptures say. But he said it with a worldly spin. Okay. Okay, I'll take that. Not like how the scriptures say, but he said it in basically a man to be a man. So so he's used a bit of the scriptures in terms of masculinity, because that's and he talks about the Bible, and he talks about why he moved to Romania, because it being a so-called Christian country, and there's obviously in Romania has got a lot of Jakes up there, man. There's a lot of Jake up there in Romania, Eastern Europe. So some of those beautiful, what you think are white women. I mean, if you look at them, they've got these swarthy features, but blonde hair. Some of them are brown, like their sister. A lot of them are Israelite women. Some are Edomites also, and Elam and all that kind of thing. I think they're in the mix somewhere there. But that's neither here or there. And, he made his money through the webcam business. And obviously, he also mentioned a few months ago, that he was invited to one of them parties by the so-called, in speech marks, by the so-called up and ups, okay, the elites or the underlings, okay, where a lot of disgusting things and gross things happen or occur, and he decided not to go. Okay, he goes, I'm not going up there, and he even talks about having a close circle of friends, the people that he knew in the past, like his brothers, always by his side, and I kind of admire that relationship he and his brother have. Because that's very, very a unique thing when you're so close with your younger brother, and that's beautiful actually, when nothing can come between, his brother and him, because that's not the case in a lot of Jake families, where you're so close with your brothers or your brother, and he still keeps the same circle of friends, and he doesn't want to change that. And he also said that if he does get taken out, somebody kills him, he said, I'm not suicidal, I'm not mental, I'm not on drugs, they've killed me, okay? And now, because of his outspoken ways, and also being on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan is definitely a lower level, lesser illuminary puppet, and being, coming under that Edomites show, that's put him more in the forefront. And he is, in the forefront, talking about masculinity, how men to be men, because the elites of the world have that. They want to basically, emasculate, demasculate, or take the masculinity away from Jake. And him being an Israelite and pushing masculinity, you know, and him having sort of like a striking image as well. You know, he's like 6'3", 6'4", martial artist, in shape and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Rocks a beard on his face and all that kind of thing. Even though the cigar smoking is out, you know, it's not right. You know, shocks. You know, sort of shows. You know, sort of like puts cold water on the plans or what the powers that be want to do to the world, especially Jake, because they're the next to rule. And so obviously, when something like this does happen, they want to quiet people down, and the elites have power in the world, and they pull strings to get you into trouble, and hence the reason why they got him into trouble for human trafficking. Okay, and they've done this in the past as well. You know, and all the women come forward, and obviously he lives in a mansion where you know a lot of his co-workers and staff work with him, and a lot of them are women because that's his core staff, right? And so he's not on that flex. He's not on that flex. He's not on that level where he wants to do that. Okay, so they're basically trying to set him up. Okay, put a spin on it. Okay, you know, same thing they did with Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. You know, dealing with women, all that kind of thing. But what about all the Edomites? You know, that Maxwell situation where they were doing, you know, and some of the Prince Charles's brother and all that kind of thing that were uh, raping women and raping children and all that kind of thing. You know, on these islands. And what about the royal family that took Gadite children from Canada and took them? You know, I think about 40 to 50 of them, and they disappeared, never came back. What about all that? They don't talk about that. Why? Because they're so-called in control for the time being, which is a very short time. Okay, but when it talks about you know righteousness to a certain degree, a man being a man and a woman being a woman, having a family structure, and you know not being a pussy, you know, uh, putting God first. You know, even though he's put his own spin on it, he's in Christianity, the so-called Christianity, you know, with Christmas and all that kind of crap. But you know, he's still sort of talking certain truths. You got to pick the meat from the bones, right? And then also, you know, so you know, he's trying to steer youngers or young men and young ladies in the right direction. Okay, because those of you that were born in the 70s, like myself, when we grew up, we didn't really see none of this stuff. It was really weird to see it. That's why I can't really watch none of some of these new shows. Okay, I was even watching The World's Strongest Man yesterday, right? It's set in Europe because you know they show strong guys from all over the world lifting heavy weight and stuff like that. You know, it's interesting to watch. Sort of motivates you to train harder as well. And I was watching it, and guess what? There was a guy on there saying that he's got testicular cancer, and then he goes, what motivates him was that he's got his husband. They're putting Mo stuff, MOE, in every aspect of life and every show, man. That never happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Okay? And then people like Andrew Tate and his brother, who are a breath of fresh air, okay, in certain respects, okay? So they're just trying to set the brother up, right? And then on top of that, what I don't like what he did was, you know, he's probably just an ancient Israelite Moor that's reincarnated and that. And because he went into that Islam bullshit, man, you know, he's become a Muslim. I don't know how true that is or not, you know. And with Muslims, they love to smoke, man, you know, and don't do that hookah, you know, when that's unlawful, when you should be, you know, having a drink is fine. So they show him going into a club, not having a drink, refusing drinks, when you should have a drink, you know, within reason, of course. You want to get nice at home. But anyway, and then after he converted to Islam and all this thing started happening, now he's in trouble, you know, because you know everyone that called Matthew 7, everyone that called Lord, Lord, you know, even if you have the Lord's name, won't be saved, man. Paraphrasing scripture there. And if you've got the Lord's name and you're going through certain things and trials and tribulations, you know, as they say, you know, the Lord may not be there when you call, but He's always on time, you know. Sometimes you do get frustrated, you know, because you see a lot of people progressing in the world and you're thinking, why am I not, you know? But then you think to yourself, where were you 5, 10 years ago and where you are now? You're in a better place, you know. But it's still frustrating in certain things that you may be going through, you know. Then you got demons chucking fiery darts at you, and then you start thinking about things that don't even really exist, different scenarios in your head. Oh, I'll deal with it this way, I'll deal with it that way. And then you know that's a demon. You start getting a headache, you start getting pissed off, you know? And that's when the Lord's name is a covering. Okay? They show him getting arrested anyway, so they show numerous weapons, which are legal. Okay, they're inside his home, the firearms and the swords and all that kind of thing. Okay? And he does mention that he knows certain people, you know, in the Romanian underworld, you know, but he just knows them because he's a person of certain stature in this society where he's got money, so he's going to link up with people like that. Not link up with them, meaning like, you know, you might be in a sort of a high-end restaurant where it's probably, I don't know, $500 a plate of food, because he eats things like that. And so you might bump into people like that. So they kind of respect him because, you know, he's just a person living his life. He's got beautiful women around him, you know. He's a martial artist. You know, he talks, you know, a fair amount of common sense, you know. And you know, if you know, you can't be on the internet and not know about Andrew Tate, you know. And he gets a lot of it from his father. He talks about his father, Emery Tate. There, okay, that's him there. There he is as a younger man, it's Andrew or Tristan, one of them there. Yeah, man. So they're trying to get him. So this was in the last 24 hours. So I don't know what's happening with Jake right now. He should be out. They'll probably keep him, I don't know, 24, 48, 72 hours. He's got money. He's going to call his lawyers up, you know. They'll probably interview some of the ladies, you know. He's got cameras and CCTV up the yin yang in his premises, so they can't set it up. But knowing Esau with deep fake and putting a certain face on a woman, buying actresses, you don't know. You could set the brother up. I don't know what's going to happen with Jake, but you know, you know. Let's go into some scriptures right now. Now Psalm 91 verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. And what's the truth? The truth is his scriptures and the name. The name of the Lord. Strong tower. Yes. Proverbs 18 and 10. The name of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Now, in this world, he might be righteous. I mean, in terms of common sense, he is. Okay, but he doesn't have the name. And then conveying to Islam is not really a great thing, because that's the religion of our oppressors. You know? And if you look at Andrew Tate's interviews, when somebody calls him a white boy or whatever, okay, he doesn't like that. You can see his face and his aura change. He don't like it. He corrects him straight away. He goes, you know, he just says to them, you know, I'm a brown guy, you know, and he always has to emphasize the fact that his father's a so-called black man. Okay, and that's why he says, yeah, I've got hands, I've got the talent, and he knows the fact that, you know, having a father that's a so-called black man, he knows his talent and skill and a certain salt and flavor that's passed down. Hence the reason he is the way he is, and you know, and also he looks the way he looks. You know, and all the women gravitate, because women gravitate towards Jake because of that Jake spirit. So he's got a few blessings in this world, you know. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment shalt thou Salakia. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Okay? And this, I mean, for example, if you look at a lot of the prophets, a lot of the elders, okay, there are a lot of lies have been said against them. Okay, if you watch the elders and prophets, apostles, elders, prophets of Great Millstone, and what happens? You know, all these weapons that are formed against you, nothing is prospered, and that's on a lower level. Okay. So if you got the name of the Lord and the Lord is with you, nothing can happen to you, man. For crying out loud, we're eating bread unclean food every day, eating poison and we're still living, So these are small things that Yahweh Hashem Shai is protecting us from. Okay? And the name is very key. Okay? And whether Andrew gets out of this or not is another thing. But he should do. But as you mentioned, if anything happens to him, you know what the score is there. Matthew 7, right? Matthew 7:22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we not cast out devils? In thy name have done many wonderful works. Verse 23. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. Verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. Okay? And how do you build your house upon a rock? A rock would protect you from, let's just say, right? I'm just using thinking as a man. Like if you're, let's just say you're in water, you can't swim, and then you see a rock there. Okay, that's like a kind of like a tower, high tower. You go on it and save yourself from drowning, right? So if you're trying to do the right things and you have the Lord's name, and you do get sort of a little bit of indication that you are going the right direction, the Lord's going to protect you, man. And if the Lord has, and there's a lot of people out there that know the Lord's name. You got people like Nate, Satan, and ISUPK and GOCC. They know the truth, okay? But the Lord's using them as stumbling blocks for the 2/3. Pursuant to Zechariah 13:9, I believe. 66.6% will be cut off. So there's stumbling blocks in place, and there's also the ones that aren't stumbling blocks, which is, Lord willing, through the straight gate, which is the mouthpiece of Yahweh Bashem Yashar, which are the men of Great Millstone and affiliate camps. So you're going to learn the name that way. Okay, but a lot of people do know the name. Nate used to talk about the name, but he doesn't. He makes fun of it now. He even wrote it from left to right, and took the PISS, and then I mean, I don't know if the Lord's gonna have mercy on him. I don't know, because I don't know the man. But you making fun of the Lord's name like that, man. That's a yo. I don't know, man. Personally, me thinking as a man, you make fun of the Lord's name, your head should roll. You make fun of the Lord's name, you write from, left to right, knowingly when it's from right to left. Okay, it's from right to left, not left to right. Left to right is demonic. It's right to left. You make fun of the Lord's name, your head should roll. No ifs, no buts, man. Especially when you know. If you're a child and you don't know, it's accident. Okay, fair enough. The Lord will have mercy. That's what I believe, thinking as a man. But if you know, then your head should roll. He knows the Lord's name. Okay? But he calls the Most High Christ bless. Let's see if Christ will help him that day. And Andrew Tate, I don't know whether he knows the truth or not, but I'm sure he's come across it, because he seems kind of diligent and intelligent enough to know. Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe the Lord sort of blindsided him, because he did talk about saying that why he converted to Islam is because he goes in the West, you can wear a t-shirt saying Jeebus is gay and nobody will bat an eye. But if you say something, a t-shirt with saying Muhammad is gay, he goes, the Muslims will go crazy and ape shit. Ape, S-H-I-T. He go, like Eddie Griffin would say in his stand-up. He goes, if you're a Jeebus worshipper, you won't sacrifice yourself for so-called good. He goes, but a Muslim will strap a bomb on himself, for a Muhammad. That's one of his reasons to convert to it. But if he knew more, and plus most of his friends, I think, Middle Eastern, hanging out in Dubai and all that kind of, and yeah, so maybe the Lord have mercy on him, maybe not, but this is a key fact in knowing the fact that, you know, a lot of the apostles and, you know, prophets will, you know, have gone through these sort of trials and tribulations, but they've, you know, they've been in their, you know, in the cells for a short time and then get let, you know, and you know, they're saved because they had the Lord's name, and that was you know, a chastising they had to go through, and we all go through that, you know. But I don't know in this situation what's going to happen to Andrew, but I just thought, you know, I'll just touch on the situation a little bit from the knowledge that I have, and bring out a few scriptures, you know. But yeah, check him out yourself. Um, yeah, social media influencer Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania on suspicion of human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized crime group. Okay, anyone that's remotely, anyone that's remotely famous, okay, and you know, and you don't look like Biggie Smalls, doesn't need to rape any woman, man. Okay, and if you got money, you can buy, you can even buy the most beautiful women. Okay, you got these ugly ass Ishmaelites buying Israelite women from America, right? And anyone that's remotely famous, you know, and you take care of yourself, doesn't need to rape any woman, man. One way or the other, women will gravitate to you. Every woman may not like you, you know. Everyone's got their taste, right? Like we don't like all women. Like a brother might say, "Oh man, she's fine. I like her." Guy, she's alright, you know. You might like curvier women, you know. You know, everyone's got their taste. But like I said, man, this is all I personally believe is bullshit. Okay, human trafficking, incorrect. Rape, definitely not. An organized crime group, no. You know, he's just you know, because you got to understand how Jacob is. Jacob is very simple, likes to live a relaxed, chilled life, and hence the reason why he's in Romania, man. Because Romania is probably like how England used to be, probably like maybe 60, 70 years ago, you know, with the gun laws, women being women, um, you know, cleaner food or whatever. And probably it's more of a sort of a semi-tropical environment. And obviously the women look better compared to the ugly Edomite women in the UK. Because if you watch some of the old documentaries of Edomite women in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, they're not very comely, man. It's like Paul Mooney said that, you know, because Elizabeth Taylor, I know I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to give you sort of an idea. Elizabeth Taylor's from the UK, right? And Paul Mooney, if you look at watch his stand up, he goes, Elizabeth Taylor was like a freak of nature. She was actually beautiful, which she was if you watch her old movies. If you know of Elizabeth Taylor, you know, jet black hair, green eyes. And I personally think, I don't think she's an Edomite, you know, because Taylor is also an Elamite surname, right? So maybe her forefathers are Elamites. I don't know, because you know the UK and India have had ties heavy. Or she could be Jake, or she just could be an Edomite where, you know, her forefathers dealt with women of other nations. Hence the reason why she's had that sort of a dark look, but the piercing green eyes, you know. But you know, he said, yeah, she's a freak of nature because otherwise English people are ugly, and he's right about that, you know. And the reason why most English girls or so-called white women now are sort of looking a little better is because of, you know, a lot of it is working out, fake tans, and some of them that look so-called white are actually Israelite women, because a lot of Jake have dealt with so-called white women, Edomite women, since they've been coming here, since the dawn of time, and heavily since the 50s and the Jamaican, so the West Indian Windrush, Jamaicans, and then you got Israelite foreigners coming from here as well that have color, um, and then all, you know, creating children and these sort of swarthy looking or nice looking women that you may think that so-called Edomites, but they're not. They're just good looking Israelite foreigner chicks, foreigner girls, you know. And then also, then you got on the flip side with so many women of color coming here, you got Edomites dealing with women of color as well. So they're creating these Edomite women, right, that look better. So that's why they look a little bit better today. Okay. Yeah, I know it's all over the place. There's Salakia, but you know, sometimes the mind wanders. But anyway, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash.